Okay, folks, here we are, getting closer and closer now. Sincerely hope you're well. We are finishing off Theme D, and then we're going to go back to Jewish practices. Okay. Remember, preparation, so important. You, by doing this, you're making the right decisions. So, finishing off with peacemaking responses to victims of war, things like that. So let's get into it. So, this question's quite broad, but most things would be accepted. It might be a question 2, for instance. Give 2 ways Christians can practically, which means we're talking about actions, work for peace. Give 2 ways Christians can practically work for peace. Okay, moving on. Just 2 quick bullet points there. 2 ways Christians can help end war and bring peace. So there's a slight difference there. 2 ways Christians can help end war and bring peace. Think about Pope Francis and other religious leaders. Okay. Here's a question 5 for you while you're finishing off that question. Religion cannot help to end war and keep peace. Okay. And then next question, tell me why, give me 2 points why religion might be ineffective at helping to end war and keep peace. Give me 2 reasons why religion might be ineffective at helping to end war and keep peace. Okay, moving on in just a sec. Question number 4. Practical ways Christians can help victims of war, so those that have suffered as a result of wars over the years. Come up with as many as possible. 2 more to go. What does Christian aid do? What does Christian aid do in relation to war? What do they do? Again, this might be a point of revision. And finally, what religious teachings motivate them? I'll give you some clues to this. Think of farm. Think of mirror. Okay. Think of justice. Those kind of things. Right. So, let's have a look at this. Bear with me a sec. Just this, right. Let's have a look at this together. So, give 2 ways Christians can help practically work for peace. Well, they could protest against the war that's going on, which is happening at the moment, you know, with the various wars that are suddenly going on in our world. You could protest against war peacefully. You could give money to charity, specifically to money to charity that helps victims of war. You could speak out about peace and reconciliation and the importance of that. And maybe some Christians who work within this sector could help with peace negotiations, help bring peace within countries. Okay. Question number 2. 2 ways Christians can help end war and bring peace. Now, when considering this question, we need to consider certain religious leaders. So, for instance, Pope Francis has been influential in helping countries negotiate all different kinds of things. This is because he's well respected. People listen to him because of the wisdom he has over the years, and because he's the worldwide leader of the Catholic Church, and Catholics believe that God has given him authority. And also, religion can help end war and keep peace, is because teachings are based around peace generally. We could argue Islam means peace. We could argue that blessed are the peacemakers, so on and so forth, turning the other cheek. Okay, turning the other cheek. Now, some people may argue that religion can't do this. Question number 3. Most religious believers ignore their own teaching, sadly, and go to law. Can tell I'm tired. Go to war. Okay. Some people might say religion, you know, the Pope, for instance, is not powerful enough against powerful countries. They'll just ignore him, even if they do meet with him. Organisations such as the United Nations, an organisation that one of its main purposes is to help nations unite and come together, okay, could be more effective. And just because there's teachings in the Bible doesn't mean that those methods necessarily produce effective or fruitful results in terms of bringing about the end of war. Okay, so I'll just let you get some of that down, and then we'll move on to the next question. Okay, how can Christians help victims of war? The war's happening or happened or ended, and the aftermath is there. So, lots of different ways: praying for them, believing that God will help them, believing that God may intervene in their lives, campaigning for their government to provide support to war-torn countries, send monetary aid or physical aid like food, water, shelter, so on and so forth. Help victims of war directly. If your government aren't going to do it, you could send, everything from nappies to food to assist those victims of war. You could give money to charities that can help victims of war, and you could hold protests again against the conflicts that has happened or is happening. What do Christian Aid do? Christian Aid's an interesting organisation, okay? They support people with the most urgent of needs. The war's happening or happened. They'll provide medical care, water, food, shelter, blankets, okay? And sadly, those that are affected, and particularly children, are lost and alone, they work to bring families back together. A wonderful thing to do. Long-term support, after the fighting has stopped, they'll help to rebuild communities, from building new homes where family can feel safe, to providing expert support in helping to deal with the trauma that has taken place. Some RTs, last question, that motivate them. Being made in the image of God. We're all equal. Just because there's a powerful government or whatever doesn't mean they're any better. Everyone is deserving of help. We've got this idea of loving our neighbour as we love ourselves. The parable of the sheep and the goats. When I was hungry, you fed me. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. Okay. And finally, we could be talking about speaking up for those who don't have a voice themselves, who cannot speak for themselves. This idea of bringing about justice in people's lives. All done for Theme D. Folks, keep going. I sincerely hope this has helped, and I will see you in another one.